Welcome to Cooking with Cass. Today I'm going to be making halal chicken and dumpling soup. I started by making a simple cornmeal dough by combining 1.5 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, and half a cup of cornmeal in a bowl and whisking until everything was well combined. At the time, I didn't realize these were going to be my favorite part of the soup, but these dumplings were awesome. Once that's all mixed, pass the flour mixture through a fine mesh sieve and break up any clumps that remain. This will help prevent bumps in our biscuit, because who likes a bumpy biscuit? Next, we'll add a half a cup of half and half and mix until smooth. You could also use 2% milk or whole milk instead. We'll whisk that until a very thick dough forms, cover with a towel or plastic wrap, and set that aside. Now let's prepare the veggies. I wanted half a cup each of celery and carrots cut into small bite-sized pieces. I'd grabbed too much celery and peeled too many carrots though. You really only need 2 to 3 carrots and 2 to 3 stalks of celery to get to half a cup. Next, I diced up a whole small yellow onion by cutting it in half and placing vertical slices every 1/4 inch or so, then placing 2 more cuts horizontally. Don't cut too deep though, we want the root end of the onion to stay intact so that the whole onion stays together to make dicing much faster. Be careful while doing this though, because the blade sometimes slips when placing horizontal cuts. Now in a Dutch oven, we'll melt 2 tablespoons of butter with 1 1/2 tablespoons of olive oil and place 1.5 pounds of halal chicken breast and chicken thigh into the Dutch oven. You can get those at the link in the description below. Only brown the chicken, we're not looking to cook it all the way here. Make sure you salt and pepper each side as it cooks. Also, if you like this recipe, we'd appreciate a like and subscribe. We post new halal recipes each week, so you'll always get something new. Once the chicken has some light golden brown on each side, we'll remove that to a mixing bowl. I kept mine really light, but you could always let yours cook longer if you'd like it more golden. Next, we'll add our vegetables to the pot. Cook those until they start to soften and the onions are slightly translucent. Make sure to mix them around a lot during this process. We want to make sure that the veggies are totally covered in the butter and oil mixture. Once those are good and soft, we'll season with half a teaspoon of thyme and a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric and mix until the seasonings have coated all of our vegetables. Once that thyme is slightly fragrant, add in 6 cups of halal chicken stock. After that's in there, we'll add our chicken back to the pot with all its accumulated juices. This will impart the flavors from the seasoning into the chicken while giving the soup a stronger chicken flavor. We'll let that simmer for 15 minutes or until the chicken is tender enough to be shredded easily. Remove the chicken to a plate and shred with 2 forks. I tried the viral trend of shredding chicken with a hand mixer and, while kind of fun and fast, it was pretty messy. But if that doesn't bother you, give it a try and let us know how it goes in the comments. Once I finished shredding the chicken, I threw it back into our soup and mixed it up. Now you could stop here and have a perfectly fine soup, but we're looking to make a creamy dumpling soup, so we've got a little more to do. In a measuring cup, combine 2 tablespoons of flour to 1 cup of half and half until smooth and pour that into the soup. Then season with salt and pepper to taste. I used about half a teaspoon each. Give that a good mix to make sure the milk is fully combined into your soup and the salt is dissolved. Once that looks good, we'll place our dumplings. We want to add this to the soup 1 tablespoonful at a time. I tried to keep these to just 1 tablespoon each, but the reality is these are going to be all kinds of sizes, and that's okay. We will be fine and our soup will be divine. Or very tasty at the least. Once the dough is all placed, cover it up and let simmer for 15 minutes or until the dumplings have puffed up and are mostly rigid when you poke them. Then serve it up and enjoy. That's all for this week. Make sure to let us know what you think of this recipe in the comments and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on our weekly halal recipes.